Good morning. You've made it halfway through the week. Congratulations. So this morning I want to talk about a very personal topic, and I will try to keep this short, but I want to use some very personal points that I've learned over the years to help you understand each one of these. So the word for today is you have fully surrendered when, number one, when you trust God has a better plan than you do. Number two, you no longer manipulate and force outcomes. Number three, you let go of the need to be in charge of your life. And number four, you do not defend your need to control. So let's go through each one of those and break them down a little bit so I can help you understand these a little bit better. So back to the first one. Do you trust God that He has a better plan for you? So a lot of times we get set in our head that we have to be in the same career for the rest of our lives. And when things start going a little left and God starts speaking to your heart that it's time to move on to something else, you stay here because in your mind you've already made up that your plan is better, that you were supposed to be here for 20, 30, 40 years so you could get a pension and you could do this and you can do that. But God's over here calling you somewhere else. And in between your thoughts of what things should look like and how you believe things should be, and the other side of that where God's saying, hey, come here, I need you to do something over here. In between that, there's this frustration, right? And this anger and this resentment starts to build up and fester inside of you, and you don't understand why. And then you start getting mad at yourself because you're so frustrated in this job. But God called you over here, and you're still not going. Okay, that's number one. Number two, you no longer manipulate and force outcomes. So say, for instance, you do have a goal. And I mean, I've even had goals in my life, especially with, business goals and things like that over the years. And you set this goal and you believe it has to be this way. And even at business conferences, you'll hear them say, winners never sleep and blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry. That's not true, right? And so you do things to force and manipulate an outcome that God never intended for you in the first place, right? However, here's the goodness of God. When you do those things, sometimes He'll say, okay, that's what you want, have it. Because that's what you want. But I'm over here and I'll be waiting for you when you're ready to do what I called you to do. That's the goodness of God in that. Next one. You let go of the need to be in charge of your life. So I mentioned this yesterday when, your day starts out and things just aren't quite in alignment and it's making you feel uneasy and frustrated. And because it's not going the way you wanted for that day, because right now you're no longer in charge of the day because the day is showing you, hey, life can happen, right? You just get into this place of uneasiness. When if you just step back and say, God, I'm not in charge of my day. But what I do know is that I'm in charge of my own emotions. I'm in charge of being able to choose joy today. Even though it looks like things are not going right, I can trust that you will make those things go right. You will orchestrate them the way that they're intended to work and help me learn any lessons that could happen throughout this day that can make me a better person, that could build my character. Okay? Then number four, you don't defend your need to control. So this is a big one. And where you see this most is you'll have somebody that leads a good life that works hard, does everything they can, whether it be in their community, in their profession, whatever. And then all of a sudden, someone comes out the woodworks and starts rumors, or just says something to one person that even might be true, right? But they, diverted from the truth a little bit. And then it becomes into this big situation, and you naturally sit back and you want to defend yourself. You want to be in control of the situation, right? When you've surrendered, you say, okay, God, I have no control of what other people say about me, but I do know that I have control of how I respond to this situation. So while I keep my emotions in check, and I take my time to pray and sit outside and meditate and be one with your creation, I'm asking you to break and sever whatever the situation is that's going on and dissolve it. And that's just one little prayer that you could use for it. So at the end of the day, when you truly surrender, let go, that's the term you normally hear. When you let go, it helps to remove all those feelings of frustration and anger and resentment that build up because you're stuck in a belief here between that and between here where God is saying, come this way, come this way. You're stuck in the in-between, right? So when you surrender, you're no longer attached to this, right? This goes away. And this, which is God, your creator, can pull you, magnetize you forward to this direction. Okay? There's so many more things that I could share about surrendering. I really hope that this helped you understand. But what I can tell you is that in my own life, I chose to surrender many years ago with my personal life. It's one of the reasons why I retired from public school teaching, and now I've been running my own business for almost 7 years now, because I surrendered. God spoke to my spirit, let me know that it was time to retire on a year that was my best year. I was coaching basketball. I had a phenomenal administration that I loved with my whole heart. Every person in that administration was everything I had ever prayed for. My students were incredible. I had the best assistance from the county office to get any materials I wanted to build the program that I was teaching. I mean, I had it all. And God said, it's time. And I was like, what? Like the best year that I was teaching? And he said, yes, now is time. And so I had to surrender all of that, right? Which I could have held on to as my identity. I surrendered it all. And he brought me to where I am now. And I cannot tell you how incredible my life has been since I retired from teaching. I've had some of the most amazing experiences. I have the most phenomenal clients. And guess what? I'm technically still teaching, right? I'm still operating in my purpose. I'm still operating in my gift. It's just in my own business where I get to make my own decisions, right? And I get to build a connection and relationships with my clients out of their homes and their fur babies and their families. And I get to go out to eat with them and, go to family functions with them. I get to laugh every day with my people when I'm teaching class, right? So God still utilized me doing the same thing with the same gift, same purpose. It's just a different atmosphere, different people, right? Trust your creator. I promise you, if you surrender all, if you let it all go, then you can allow God to work everything together just the way it was supposed to be. Be blessed. Have an amazing day, right? And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.